Hi, good afternoon. Audio check here. Coming through?
You are coming through loud and clear, brother.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent. And is my screen share coming through?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Hey, Rob, good seeing you.
Your background's a little blurry, just so you know.
Ah, very good. It's good to see our colleagues from Forest Service and medical unit leaders, and it's going to be a good call. We'll start here briefly. We have about 3 or so minutes. I see our chair is online, Commissioner Kenny, and we'll get going here in a few minutes.
Hey, Craig, the southern states would really appreciate you keep that cold weather up there, dude. I mean, what the heck? It's going to 18 next week. We're going to whine like little children.
I agree. Is my audio coming through okay?
You're loud and clear, sir.
Yay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I see that bubble and it does not look pretty. You are absolutely right.
Joe, I was down in Dallas last month, and that's my first time being in the great area of Dallas. I enjoy your state.
It was pretty. It's getting pretty built up that way.
Yeah. It takes 4 or 5 minutes to get anywhere.
It's a shame they don't have a real football team up there. I mean, I'm still a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Even though we quit playing about 5 games ago. But yeah, it's a neat town.
Next weekend, this on Friday actually, I'm heading to Kansas. Maybe I'll see if Joe House is around.
Now, why would you do that? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Kansas in the winter. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of logic there. You should be
Yeah,
thinking,
right.
You should be thinking the Virgin Islands or something. Hawaii or something.
Yeah, going from Wyoming to Nebraska down to Kansas should be fun.
Rob, was that a Coke commercial?
Product placement. If they will give me $5 to show it on this call, I'm going to take $5.
We just want to make sure there's nothing in there.
Going to give it just a minute because I believe we need another executive committee member to get started. I know Treasurer Brad Vandaloon indicated he got called into some legislative issues, so he said there's a chance he might not be on.
And I'm in comms with Commissioner Denny. His link is having a technical issue. So one moment and I'll get him a revised link here.
Okay, I think we are in shape to go ahead and call the meeting to order. So I will go ahead and call it order for January 10th, 2024. This is the Executive Committee meeting for the Interstate Commission for EMS Personnel Practice. Appreciate a very large attendance group. Appreciate everyone being on our executive committee. We have some good presentation, some discussion, and some business for today. So hopefully it will be a positive meeting. We will go ahead and start with roll call. Yes.
Right. Before you start that, Donnie, I don't know if this is the right agenda that's up because it says December 6, 2023, or maybe you just didn't change the date when you did the agenda.
Sorry about that. I'd scroll down to the meeting summary. So
There you go. I'm sorry.
thanks for calling that out. Yep.
Problem.
Okay, we will go ahead and we will proceed with the roll call, which I will go ahead and do because I don't believe our secretary is on. So I will note Commissioner Kinney, the chair, is here. Commissioner Wayne Denny, vice chair.
Present.
Present. Commissioner Joe House, secretary. Show is absent. Commissioner Brad Vandeloon, Iowa treasurer. He is absent with legislative, and Commissioner Aaron Kaler from Wyoming.
Present.
Thank you. And then finally, the at-large, or excuse me, not at-large, the immediate past chair, Commissioner Joe Schmieder. Sort of at-large.
Thank you. I'm here.
Thank you. As a reminder, this is a public meeting. We ask that the committee members are joining by video where possible. Public attendees, the attendance is encouraged. Microphones for attendees will be muted upon arrival. Please place your name and agency organization in the chat if you are requesting to speak, or for attendance purposes if we don't recognize based on your participant ID. You can request to speak during the comment period by using the raise hand feature, and then we will attempt to call on you as we can. Public attendees that are called upon should announce your name, and also if you are representing an organization, we will limit public comments to 2 minutes or less, and in the event of background noise, disruptive behavior, comments beyond the 2 minutes, then we may mute your microphone. So again, thank you everyone for being here. The first thing that we had was a request for comment from former state director, and we want to talk about best practice medicine. And many of you will recognize, and I'm glad to welcome and recognize Rob Bronski. Rob?
Thank you, Commissioner Kinney. Thank you to Director Woodyard and the entire executive committee for allowing us to be present today. We've had some discussions with Director Kinney, and he invited me on board today, and I want to thank you all for that opportunity. I know many of you, I don't know some of you, and I like to continue my relationships as I meet everybody at NASEMSO and EMS World and the likes, and it's a great seeing you all here today. Just wanted to come on today. After I left the state, I did some lobbying for about 1.5 years, did some consulting, got really sick and tired of taking 3 showers a day from dealing with those folks. So I got into this company called Best Practice Medicine. Best Practice Medicine is out of Bozeman, Montana. And one of the horrible things that they make us do is fly out there quarterly, spend a week out there fishing and looking at the elk and doing things like that. But our core mission is education. We also do emergency response with a ton of wildland responses in our fleet of ambulances. And the area where I'm the operations manager is in travel paramedics. It's relatively new. We've been sending people overseas for years at a time and bringing them back, and they don't pay taxes, and they love those deployments. But we've gotten into the travel paramedicine age, and it mirrors almost exactly what travel nurses do. People call us who are critically understaffed, and they say, we need help, get us some paramedics, get us some EMTs, help us decompress our systems, help us, fix our UHUs. We're under state orders in some cases to increase our staffing and decrease our response times. And we're here to support you, support your agencies, support your states. it's not really even necessarily about our business. When we get on the ground, we're going to be there for 90 days or 180 days. Or as, for example, Bakersfield, we've been there 18 months. In Oklahoma City, EMSA, we've been there for 16 months now. And we staff upwards of 45 paramedics, 30 EMTs at Hall, 30 paramedics at Hall in Bakersfield. And we've been in these places for quite a long time. So we're going to be there for our 90 days. We're going to make our money. It's not about our business and us losing business. What it is it's about a public safety risk in many cases of us having to take so long to get to where we're going, and fundamentally zero consistency among the states where we're doing business where we have EMS compacts. The compact has become a hindrance and a hurdle instead of a help in many cases. Some states welcome us in with our compact medics and our compact EMTs, give them the privilege to practice as is outlined in the law, and allow them to come in and get the job done, get things moving quickly. In other cases, we still have to go through the entire licensing process for our EMTs and our medics. Some states make it very easy. We recently started working with Priority in Georgia at a couple different locations that they have. And the state said, yeah, this whole compact thing, we haven't really quite got figured out yet, but give me the list of names of people that are coming in. We'll get them licensed quickly. Okay, that's great. And they did, and they really worked well with us. And everybody that hit their desk was certified the next day. But I don't feel like that's how we designed the compact to be made. That's not what we passed in South Carolina when we passed it in 17 or 18. And we allow people with compact state licenses a privilege to practice when they come into South Carolina. And it allows for agencies to up their staffing if they need to, and do the things they need to do to get trucks on the road. The folks that call us, and if I'm at 2 minutes, please just let me know I'm just talking. The folks that call us don't call us because they have a couple $1 million in the budget and they want to put a few extra trucks on the road. They're calling us because they're critically understaffed. EMSA, who gave us permission to speak today, it has been critically understaffed for a while. We upstaff there continuously, and it takes us a couple of weeks. They're now a compact state, so it's going to be interesting the next time we upstaff there to see how much better we can do. But they also, we get there and we fill out licensing paperwork and we walk it downtown to OKC and we get licensed in a couple of weeks. And so hopefully that'll shorten that. But they barely have 40 paramedics of their own there. They've got 100 EMTs or so. We've got 40 paramedics on the ground in Oklahoma City, and it's just sometimes the timing is very critical for these places. We have 4 new contracts that just opened in California. They're not a compact state, and we know that's a 6-week lead time out there with paramedic licenses, ambulance driver licenses, and the like. So but that's just a given. But with the compact states, we're really here to support your mission, to support your agency's missions, and get folks on the ground as quick as possible. And we have tons of people in our cache that when we respond to emergencies in response mode, when there's declared disasters, it's not an issue. Most states, almost every state has in their statutes that people can cross the lines to come in an emergency and help us. But when these emergencies handle in a micro economic way with different agencies in different counties, it does not allow for that. So just here today to ask you, I know you have a rulemaking meeting next month to really dig into this for your agencies. I'd say for us, but it really isn't for us. We're going to be there for 90 days or 180 days or a year. And it doesn't affect our business model. What it does affect is our ability to get people on the ground quickly and get them working for you and for your agencies. And I'll take any questions that you want, except from Joe Schmieder.
Wise choice. Thank you on the Joe Schmieder. Teaching poor Joe. So I do think, and I think you're right, I think our rulemaking addresses a little more on the accountability for states, and we'll have provisions there. So I think that will be interesting to watch, and we'll have a few updates today. I'm open to questions that anyone has. No questions for Rob about best practice medicine.
Rob, I know you didn't allow me to ask a question, but if you have any issues in the state of Texas, please let me know because it should be streamless. It should be not an issue for you.
Thank you, Joe. We're still trying to crack Texas. We got as far south as Oklahoma City, and so we do plan on cracking into Texas. There are a lot of travel agencies in Texas right now. We will crack it, and I do appreciate that, and I certainly will let you know, and I'll let the commission know. But it's tough in some places, and other places it's very easy to work through the process. So thank you.
And Mr. Chair, just from my seat, what Rob is saying is something that I hear as the commission's executive director, and it really emphasizes the priority that we have in the accountability we have to the states and to the governors, to the legislative bodies that's passed the compact. Our employers, our stakeholders have to have confidence and assurance that every state is going to honor the laws of their state and respect the privilege to practice as the compact allows. We have our responsibility to ensure that we have clear and concise rules around that. I believe the rulemaking that we're doing in February will help take a foundational step forward on that. But as you've heard me say, both in my prior role and in this role, our top priority is to ensure that the compact is understood, implemented consistently, and is something that the 400 and some thousand EMS providers in the United States with the privilege to practice can be very confident in that privilege. So I appreciate, Rob, your comments there. And I think they ring true to us, and it really highlights some additional work we have to do.
Thank you very much, Director Woodyard. There is a question in the comments. I don't know if anybody saw it. It's
Go ahead.
It's a softball, so somebody.
Yeah, I'll read the
nexus?
question.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I can read it, and then Chair, you can answer it or ask for someone else to. What is the nexus between the Interstate Compact and federal state declarations where EMS provider licensure participation statutes rules are waived?
So I think, and I can start and then Donnie can add too. I think one thing, and I got this question recently and also about EMAC and how that works. And I think the personnel licensure, has its strengths. It is the limitations as its personnel. So it doesn't move equipment, doesn't move ambulances. And a lot of times a state disaster is going to do that, particularly under an EMAC situation. And I think that, the benefits, I think, of the compact are you're operating under the initial protocols that you go, and it may depend on a disaster declaration, what the governor actually indicates in that declaration. So sometimes when they're trying to make a decision, it may be unclear in the middle of a disaster declaration, whereas the compact should operate as it always does for people going into a new state. Donnie?
Yeah, if I could add maybe a couple of things there. It's important to note that the compact itself, the replica compact, is not applicable for disasters. I think that's probably the important thing to note. The compact legislation actually refers back to EMAC, and so the EMAC provisions would take effect. But the compact is really designed for that day-to-day non-disaster movement. If a state declares a disaster and requests resources through either EMAC or through a federal response, the compact may have some applicability for that, but it's not designed for that. And in many of those situations, federal and or state mandates have their own provisions that would come into play for that. But really, the compact was designed for that everyday pre-disaster, non-disaster, everyday operations of movement of personnel and the regular performance of their duties. Rob? Oh, sorry, Mr. Chair.
And I just want to add, but really, travel paramedicine was something that was relatively foreign to me when I was with the Bureau. But the compact was made for this. the compact was made for these agencies that are in trouble and need people, and ask us how quickly we can, when we tell them we can't get people there for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it's very disheartening to them. But the compact was made for these agencies that are in desperate need. So it's something that I recognize now. I didn't recognize previously, and this is something. We don't move equipment, we don't move anything except people. It's a great example, I think.
And I think you mentioned, I think it shows sometimes these connections, you mentioned priority, and they own service here in Indiana and operate under that. But when they do, it's easier for them because sometimes they have shortfalls between their states and they can actively move people around as they need to, a lot more flexibly than they have been able to in the past. Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you. We appreciate that. You are welcome to go if you'd like, or you can stay and observe. Thank you, Rob. The next item we have for public comment are any matters not on the agenda. So are there any matters that anyone had wished to speak on not on the agenda? It can be from a executive committee member. It could be from one of our commissioners that's on, or a member of the public. If you do, I would ask that you use the raise hand feature and we will recognize you. Yes, I see Commissioner Meyer. Chaz Meyer, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to say that as of February 1st, I'm going to be, I should say maybe January 31st, that I'm going to be leaving my position with the Bureau of EMS here in Missouri. And so I just wanted to say to the executive committee that I have just truly enjoyed working with everyone. Everyone actually, not just the executive committee, but especially the executive committee, but all the members of the commission, and working with the compact. It's just been a pleasure, and I will truly miss working with all of you. And I'm working on making sure that it's a smooth transition. We know who our interim bureau chief is going to be. And he is actually listening in on the call today. And so I'm going to be making sure that this is a smooth transition as possible. Contacted Donnie and making sure that there's a letter so we can get the appointment letter taken care of to get him appointed as a commissioner, so that we don't have a problem with that, no drop in service there. And I just wanted to make sure and make a statement that how much I really appreciated everyone's help while I was in the position, and I've enjoyed working with the compact, and wish you guys all the best and hope our paths cross in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Meyer. Chaz, I want to say personally, and I certainly understand, give you best wishes on the new job opportunities. I am saddened that Chaz has been on a lot of our executive committee calls and always is participating, but particularly on the bylaws committee, that smaller committee. But he has always been a strong force and assisted us in moving some of the bylaws and the early rule changes. And so we certainly are going to miss your presence. I will announce and take the opportunity to commend Donnie again, Director Woodyard. He is displaying here. He has developed a certificate of service that we will issue to commissioners as they leave. And so you will get a hard copy similar to this, indicating your term of service. And then interestingly, then when we receive an appointment, we also will have a letter that Donnie will send that is similar but slightly different, that indicates their designation and that they are an EMS compact commissioner. And so I think that's going to be positive. But on behalf of the executive committee and the commission as a whole, thank you for your service and best wishes. Commissioner Schmieder.
Taz, I just want to thank you again on behalf of myself for your friendship, your support, and your leadership. If I could make a motion today, I would make a motion that we not accept your resignation. We make you stay in that job. But since I can't do that, I can't do that. But I thank you so much. And I know our paths will cross again. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you.
Much appreciated. It's a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Donnie, anything you wanted to add as well?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, Commissioner Meyer, it's been a real joy working with you, but really appreciate the approach that you've taken in building consensus, in disseminating information, in coordination with your state and your stakeholders. That's been much appreciated, as well as your willingness to serve. So as others have said, your presence will be missed. We're looking forward to working with the new commissioner for the great state of Missouri, and pledge that we'll help get them up to speed as soon as possible. And we wish you the best in your next venture, but you will be missed.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Any other comments on matters that are not on the agenda? Okay, we will move on to old business. One item I am not seeing, Donnie, when I was looking at the summary from the last time. I was trying to recall, the last time it looked like we had an action item to approve the prior month's summary. So I think we were going to approve the summaries. And so if the executive committee has reviewed the December 6th, 2023 executive committee summary, I would entertain a motion for either any corrections or for approval of that summary. Wayne or Aaron, anyone? Okay. We will withhold a vote on that then, and we will add that to the agenda item for the next time, Donnie, for next month's executive along with this month's.
Mr. Chair, I'm apologies. I was away for just a quick second.
Okay.
I did review the materials, and I would move to approve them.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
I'll second that. I'm sorry, I was distracted.
Okay, and Commissioner Kaler with the second. And then I would agree with that, and I don't believe any other commissioners have joined. So we will show that we have approved that summary, and that can then be posted. Okay, on the other old business, the work groups, we have a privilege to practice code of conduct work group, and this is related to position papers. And we also have a work group that we're forming, I should say, on EMS workforce privacy protections. And I believe that our executive director sent out some information today on that, and I will call on him for just a quick, I think this is mostly an update section.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I did distribute out to the commissioners for the member states, so the 24 member state commissioners, an email earlier today asking for your assistance in being volunteering for either one of these two work groups. And I also included in that, if you have any stakeholders or any of your state staff members that you would like to recommend to be on these work groups, because these are not committees and they're work groups, we can include non-commissioners. And actually, I would encourage that. And so, for instance, on the work group for the Privilege to Practice Code of Conduct, that's related to the position paper that this group reviewed last month. If you have people that are particularly interested in that topic, please use that link to fill out that form. I do ask, do not distribute that nationally. We didn't send that out to the full mailing list. These are small work groups, and we want everyone to be recommended by a state commissioner that would be on that. So if for any members of the public, if you're on the call today and you have an interest in this, please contact your respective commissioner that would best serve you and express your interest to them. And they have the nomination form to actually get your name added to that. So with that, Mr. Chair, as soon as I get a sufficient list of interest, we'll work with you for the official appointments to these work groups.
Thank you. I know we had a couple of commissioners. I recall Commissioner Johnson is on, and I'll make sure that we record those after the last meeting. But yeah, that template and filling out that form is going to help a lot. And then we hope to see those moving and get some progress. So thank you, everyone, on that. We are now up to reports, and we have the Treasurer's report, which would be Commissioner Vandeloon, and I don't believe that he has joined. And so I did review it, and I reviewed it with Donnie, and then I've also chatted with Commissioner Vandeloon on a couple of these issues, so I feel comfortable going forward. You can see our previous balance on there was $97,147.31 as of the 1st of December. As of the 1st of January is $83,563.62. And the biggest expenditures that we had during that month were the payment of our executive director salary, and then we had a small bit of travel. And so those were really our only two expenses that we had in that month. And then we still continue to get revenues as per normal schedule through the National Registry. And so our incoming is on target. And so really, we don't have any concerns with budget to relay. I'm open to, or Donnie can assist with answering if anyone has any questions on where we are on the budget. Okay.
Just for the record, I'll note we are on budget, on target, as projected.
Thank you. Now for my report, I'm going to defer to Donnie on several of the things, but he's been active. He does a great job of updating me. We have a lot of good activity. Especially we've been interacting with our federal partners, and I see several of them on the call. Appreciate that. We definitely want to strengthen our relationships there, and our executive director has done a good job of that, and I will allow him to update on that coming up. I think the two biggest updates that I do have are, the first one would be on our not fun news, I guess I would say, and I see we have our council on. We do have an update that came back from our request for a determination letter from the IRS. As you recall, we have discussed this as an opportunity to cement the fact of where we stand with the IRS, even though our actual incorporation documents solidify that we are a government body. And with that, we submitted, we paid the $275 fee, and the IRS refused that check and actually indicated that it should be $38,000 if we want a determination. And so unfortunately, unless we are wanting to dig for money, we are inclined not to pay $38,000 for a determination. I will go ahead and see if our counsel from PWW, either Doug or Christy, would like to add their kind of thoughts on that.
Doug, would you like me to start?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Christy.
All right. Well, I'll just say I respectfully disagree with where they're getting $38,000. I have no idea where they're pulling that from. And I stand by what I read in that same IRS bulletin that said that how you determine what the fee is. Keeping in mind that this bulletin that comes out once a year is like 150 plus pages. So it's not like this is reading like 7 pages and coming to an answer. It's 150, but yeah, it's unfortunate and it seems like highway robbery, but yeah, I don't know that any of us are going to be able to pull 38,000 just to find out what the tax status of the organization is.
Mr. Chair, I'll just add that, we don't think that the lack of an IRS private letter ruling changes the character or status of the commission as an instrumentality of state governments. It's only that we might have a slightly harder time convincing people of that without that letter. It doesn't change the nature of the commission or its legal status. It would only be that we could say that through, our legal opinion or other private legal opinions, which are, I have found over 27 years, much less persuasive than those that are issued by the government. But just the same, I think it's important to note that.
And I do think we, council, we would still have that opportunity. Let's say some reason, let's say we found someone that wanted to give 500,000 to us. If we wanted, we could pursue that designation at that time and pay the 38,000. Is that correct?
Well, the fee changes each year, so it might not be 38,000 if you would get such a donation 10 years from now. But you could certainly revisit it at a future time.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Schmieder, I see you have a question or a comment.
Yes, counselors, do we have an appeal to that decision? Can we appeal their 38,000 and say, like, what the heck is that?
Not that's on this short little letter. It just says basically that the user fee the rest of the user fee has to be submitted, and it has to be submitted within 30 days of the date of the letter. The date of the letter was December 14th, by the way. So
yeah,
we're still slightly within the 30-day period, but there's not an appeal process. There's just if you want us to consider this, then we need you to pony up the rest of the $38,000, and then we'll process your request. Right now, this is getting the door slammed in our faces while trying to enter the process.
Yeah, talk about a partner, a friend. So, we're probably going to the same answer. I still think we should send them back a firing letter and just say, we don't agree with you, that this is ridiculous. It's an overreach from the IRS, and they'll probably throw in the trash can. But I don't think we should just take the no and just walk away and say, okay, well, if we get rich, we'll apply again.
Got a thought that might be worth considering. Our congressional delegation, I just met with them last month before, I guess. And they're usually very interested in finding things that they can help with as far as EMS goes. And if I could get something to them, perhaps that, was an explanation of why this matters, why it's important, and what they could do to help. I think getting questions from the congressional delegation from, I don't know, Idaho, Texas, Indiana, you run down the list of all of these Congress people contacting them and saying, hey, wait a minute, what is this? What are you doing? That would probably be more helpful than writing a letter back to them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great thought, Wayne. I can certainly, I guess Donnie can email out the letter to the delegates, and they can potentially pass it along. Because yes, requiring a $38,000 payment from an interstate compact in order to say that they're the type of entity that we suggest that they are seems to be highway robbery.
Yeah, because I think if a handful of us just coordinate through Donnie and draft up here's the letter that we would send to our delegation, and then we all just fire it off to our congressional delegations, then, even if half of them bite and, start asking questions, and that might actually bend something.
Yeah, I will send you something, Donnie, that you can then forward out to everyone that summarizes the issues, because one of the other issues is they quibbled with the fact that we paid the fee by a check when the IRS instructions specifically said that for the $275 payment that we were paying, which was a determination by the director that you had to pay it by check and it was $275.
Gotta love it.
Mr. Chair, maybe just one comment. The amount of work that Christie and PWW did on this is monumental. I forget, Christie, the number of pages of the request letter. It was one of the longest letters I've ever read in my life. It was a request book. So this represented a huge amount of goodwill, effort, and your legal time. So I just want to say thank you for that. And the work's not lost.
Yeah, we tried to follow to the letter of the 150-page instructions exactly everything they wanted, but yeah, when they won't even look at it until you pay $38,000 and you paid $275, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Doug, have the other compacts had the same response that you know of?
We filed one for one other compact. Their signatures, we did the letters at about the same time as yours, but it took them about 3 weeks longer than you guys to get all the signatures back that I needed to submit it. So I'm expecting to get the same answer any day from the one that we filed 3 weeks after yours, but I'm still waiting to hear and get the official news.
Okay.
But
Yeah, none of the other ones, Joe, that we work with have obtained a private letter ruling.
Okay. Wow.
and the ones that I found were really big interstate compacts, and now I understand why they were really big interstate compacts, because they had it probably endowment funds to pay for this kind of fee.
Okay. Any other thoughts? I will say, as from my perspective, I think, again, I agree, Donnie. Thank you to PWW, Christie, for your work, and Doug. I appreciate both of you working on that. And I think, Christie, that would help if you're able to give us some kind of this brief synopsis as to what we were trying to achieve in the hurdle. And then I think we can approach our legislative offices and try to see if we can rattle a little bit through that route.
Would it help if we included the actual letter? I mean, not the 1,000,001 attachments that they had us attached to the letter, but the letter itself, so that people
I
can
would think
see what we're
so,
trying to
since it
ask?
was, yeah, I would say so, since it's an application, it would kind of make sense, you know, and it gives an idea of what type of body we are and that our arguments.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other thoughts on that? Okay, unless hopefully less bad news, move on to the other item that I had from my report was Donnie had created a template we saw in our last meeting where he would come up with the seal, which was approved, but he also had a mock-up for a challenge coin. And one of the requests he had of me, and he had gotten quotes on it, and it was under $1,000, and I was inclined to approve that. When I talked to Brad, we kind of felt like it was within the chairperson's discretion, but since we had a meeting, I wanted to brief the commission, and then I wanted to say, when there are incidental costs, does the executive committee want to approve everything? Or do they think that the chairperson and treasurer have discretion at certain amount levels?
I would offer that I think that the chair has to have some discretion when it's things of this size, and then the treasurer knows if we're going broke or not, so.
That was my thought, was this wasn't going to pigeonhole us into a deficit, you know, because if I guess my thinking was if it's 1 to 2,000 or more, then definitely I need to be coming to the full executive committee and getting approval. But I wanted to brief and see if anyone had any concerns before we proceeded. Okay, if anyone has any thoughts on that, certainly feel free to email Donnie, myself, or Brad. and we will be glad to follow up on that. With that, I am ready to turn it back to Commissioner Schmieder for an update from Bylaws and Rules Committee.
Good afternoon. Not a whole lot to report other than we have some bylaws out there being updated. Speaking with Donnie before this meeting, we haven't received any comments yet. In place of our meeting on the 31st, it was the 31st, wasn't it, Donnie, of January, the committee meeting?
Correct.
We're going to have a education session and open up to any state director who wants to talk about the changes to the bylaws. We'll use it at that time. That won't be an official hearing. It'll just be an opportunity for anyone who has any questions, and we'll get those notices out, and we can at least talk through. Hopefully that'll help move things along at the annual meeting in February. We can answer some questions up front in January. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report. Donnie, did I miss anything?
No, sir.
I do want to thank people for using the chat feature. I have read the comments, some good suggestions there, such as, and possibly including the hyperlink to the letter in our main cover letter, linking it to our actual document that we did. So, okay, we are up to Donnie with your executive director's report. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. The first thing I would like to highlight is the appointment of a new commissioner. And so I would like to read into the record the appointment of Mr. Anthony Martin, who is the new director of the Bureau of EMS with the Pennsylvania Department of Health. So I have the appointment letter in the format as required from the acting Secretary of Health from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We did an onboarding session with Mr. Martin earlier this week. He is unable to attend this meeting today, but Mr. Martin, with this appointment, he is now duly appointed to represent the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Looking forward to working with him. And as the chair alluded to earlier, we do have our new standard certificate of appointment. And so this reads that Anthony Martin is recognized as the delegate and commissioner for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, effective today's date, the date that we read this in to the record, and then the standard boiler language that's taken from the model legislation that affords him one vote to represent the interest of the Commonwealth in the Compact Commission. So if you have the opportunity, I encourage you, commissioners, reach out to Commissioner Martin. He seems like he'll be a good addition. We do have a press release that will be issued shortly. Any questions related to that? Hearing none. The other things I would note in my report, we've already recognized Taz. Again, thank you for his service. We do have a number of meetings with our federal partners. In December, had the opportunity to meet with the Interagency Wildland Fire Coordinating Center and the federal partners with that, many of whom, by the way, I see on the call today, but Commissioner Denny was there as well as myself. And we had really good discussions. One of the things that came clear through that was the need for additional education and clarity related the privilege to practice and the uniformity of that being understood and recognized not only by state EMS office officials, but also by employers. I recognize we had the opportunity to meet with you as commissioners on a regular basis. One of the, I think, challenges that we all face, and I say this because I faced it in my own office when I was in your shoes, and that is some of our staff still struggle to understand the concept of the Interstate Commission and the concept of a privilege to practice. So I just want to reemphasize to all the commissioners online and to our stakeholders, I am available. My meeting schedule link is available. I'm happy to do training sessions. I'm happy to do workshops. I'm happy to help educate the purpose, function, and status of the privilege to practice and the compact. Any questions or comments on that? No. Okay. I do have some upcoming meetings related to vision casting and the future of the coordinated database. Just as a heads up for the executive committee, our next set of rulemaking obviously is already posted for public comment. The section after that will most likely focus on the coordinated database and to continue to expand and define how we utilize the coordinated database and the future role of that. I have reached back out to the National Registry, and we have more calls coming up here in the future related to the data analysis that the executive committee briefed me to take the next steps on in December. So we will be seeking to analyze the coordinated database, to understand the privilege to practice, to understand the licensure information, and to generate some reports on that. So that work has, the planning for that has started. And once we have a finalized project plan, we'll present that back. Our in-person meeting, make sure everyone has that on your dates. That's May 14th. And that'll be in Pittsburgh and to happen alongside of the NASIMSO annual meeting. So that is scheduled and will be in person. We will have a hybrid option for any commissioners that are not able to attend. And that will be a regular full business meeting of the compact. And we will also invite our other state colleagues to certainly join in and participate and learn as they can. Conference presentations. I've submitted a whole list of conference presentations. I'm now waiting to hear back, but we've submitted presentations for the big name conferences, some state conferences, and some regional conferences. So I will keep the executive committee updated on which presentations have been accepted and the status of those moving forward. So unless I'm forgetting something, Mr. Chair, I believe that concludes my report, but I'm happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you. Appreciate all the work you're doing. Any questions for our executive director? Okay, thank you, Donnie. Next up, we have EMS coordinated database update, and I believe I saw Ray on the call.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And a quick shout out to Taz. Thanks for everything you've done and working with you was a true pleasure. I sent this last week. The numbers are very close. If you're looking at the left side, the last submission, every state that is connected has submitted within the last, either today or yesterday. So no red flags there. I've got a meeting Friday with Delaware. I just got a message from Chris in North Dakota. They're hoping to have some movement in connecting to the database in March. Working with Pennsylvania. The two that are kind of fell off the radar are Nebraska and Tennessee. There hasn't been any movement since October 10th for Nebraska and November 2nd for Tennessee. So hopefully they'll come back on the radar after the new year here. If there's anybody from the executive committee has contact with either of those states, a little nudge would be appreciated.
Tim Wilson is on.
Tim.
Might be.
Hi, Ray and everyone. Ray, we've had some staffing changes and things within IT. So I have been in contact with them because I got an update. I'm trying to push them along, so hopefully I can get them back to be and re-engaged with you. So I am pushing it on this side for you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And if there's somebody else we should coordinate with, if you could just send that to me, I'd appreciate it.
Definitely, I will do that.
Thank you. And then the on the next section, the discipline, when they were created, that those numbers are very close. The only one that's changed is Colorado has sent in a couple more. At the bottom there, there's been no progress in the left box. And on the right box, the IT fixes, the only thing different is add Colorado to that double or multiple EMS ID number issues. I'm still waiting for IT to implement the fix to that. I hope to get it in the next week or so. We've had some challenges in our IT department at the registry. So barring any questions, that's all I have, Mr. Chair, for today. Oh, I'm meeting with Donnie tomorrow, I think. So working on NEMSKID future projects.
Thank you, Ray. We appreciate the good report. Also the support of the National Registry and its resources are valuable for the compact. Anyone have any questions that they would like to ask Ray? Okay, thank you. We will move on to new business. We have a commission meeting coming up. And I think Donnie covered it briefly on February 21st. And that is a virtual meeting, and that it will involve a rulemaking, and will also be the public hearing on the rulemaking, not to be confused with an earlier session that is more of an education background session for commissioners. You want any more clarifications on that, Donnie, or anything else to prepare for that commission meeting?
I don't think I have anything other than please make sure that you've reviewed the rulemaking. That'll be the majority of the meeting.
And we think it's an important one. I appreciate the hard work of the bylaws committee. I'm participating for most of it, and it's a good product, as well researched compared to other compacts. Thank you for the direction, BWW, and I think it's going to be a solid one. So hopefully we'll make sure we have a quorum, and then hopefully we'll give it strong consideration and pass it. The final item that we have is partner organization updates. Sometimes I call on people, but we have so many partners, I'm not sure who actually is observing and who would like to make a statement. So if you are with a federal or another state organization, would like to give an update on what's going on with you that may relate to the compact or you think we should know about, you may use the raise hand feature and we'll be glad to call on you.
And Mr. Chair, while we're waiting to see if anyone has a raised hand, I do have a quick comment just to read into the record. Dia Gaynor, the executive director of NASIMSO, expresses her regrets for not being able to attend today's meeting. She's on an airplane, but she did send a note, and that NASIMSO has reviewed the position paper that the commission published on the history checks, the criminal history checks for EMS providers, and establishing that as the national standard, and that NASIMSO embraces that and appreciates that position paper.
And I sit on NASIMSO's executive board as well, and they I know is well received by the entire board. I spoke out in favor of it, but there was strong consensus. There was a little bit of couple of questions on words, but they basically were approving the concept with the understanding that everyone will circulate the draft and it'll get wordsmithed. But I don't think you'll have any issues with the full support of NASIMSO, which is good. And I appreciate Donnie bringing this to the attention of the federal partners, and then also following up with this work product. I think it shows the value of the compact as being a federal leader.
And just one more comment, certainly not speaking on behalf of our federal partner here, but we did do a coordinating meeting with, I'll say the lead for national cybersecurity and we continue to work on that. But they do have some interest in that position paper that we have the work group being formed for the cybersecurity and the security of EMS personnel data. And just for the record, I'll note that for all the regulators on and our stakeholders, EMS is a critical aspect of our national security posture, and it's an important aspect of our preparedness. And to make sure that our responders' information is protected and that we're properly protecting that is a matter of importance. So I'll just report that out as from my meeting there and encourage people to sign up for that work group.
Okay, thank you. With that, we are coming up on the hour, which I usually try to keep it to an hour, and I don't see any hands raised. And so we will go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Denny
I will second.
and second by Commissioner Kohler. Real quick, yes, you may go ahead and make a comment, even though we're sort of adjourned. Go ahead, Mr. Harden.
Yeah, it's Dr. Harden with the Arizona Bureau of EMS and Trauma. I had a question in the looks like it just got answered by Ray. I was curious when you paramedics and EMTs get their NREMT certificate, if it includes some type of an indicator that that state that they're primarily certified through is participating on the compacts. That'd be an interesting thing to add if they had such a thing. Thank you.
Apologies, but the registry public lookup does not have indication as to state licensure status, but the emscompact.gov lookup would give you all the states that they're licensed in, all compact state licensure. So it would give multiples in that situation.
And Mr. Chair, I know we're staying adjourned. I'm happy to show that as an example online, if you're okay with that.
I think we're in a weird area, so I am going to show us adjourned. If anyone wants to drop off, if you want to stay on and learn more about that public search, feel free to do so. I'm going to watch because I think it'd be good information.
Thank you, sir. So, yeah, recognizing we're adjourned, I will, let's see here. Share that. I trust my screen is being shared. So this is on the EMS Compact website. And there are two places here to get to it. But if you scroll down to do I have a privilege to practice by inserting the EMS ID number, which we are encouraging all states to adopt, compact and non-compact, to adopt and integrate this into your licensure system. And this is just a semi-random number that I have available of someone that I know is licensed in multiple states. But when you put in the number, you're able to see that they are indeed licensed. It's green. They have a privilege to practice. That privilege to practice means that their EMS credential is recognized and valid in every non-gray state. So that would include the white, the light blue, and the dark blue states. And if you scroll down, you're able to see the primary source information. This particular individual is licensed in multiple states. So you can see Georgia, Louisiana, Kansas, Mississippi, etc. License number, license level, and expiration dates. And then you can also see their national certification. So Director Holden, this would be an example of where to get that information that shows state-specific information as well as national certification. And it really is a game changer when it comes to employers credentialing, primary source validation. We strongly recommend for all employers to only do direct primary source validation. So with that, that's what I wanted to show, sir. So I will stop the share. I know that we're adjourned. I'm happy to hang back if there's any other questions. Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, can I get that guy's number?
Sure.
Thank you for the time today, gentlemen. Ladies, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. I'll put the number in the chat. It's the National EMS ID number is public, so that's in the chat. I think this is he's I assume a flight paramedic or something, so in multiple states. But you can also look up your own number. I often use my number as well. But Rob, that's in the chat. Did you grab it?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We
Yeah,
have tons
no
of flight
problem.
paramedics in our system, so thank you. Thanks again, everyone.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks,
Well,
everyone.
Everyone have a great day. Use my meeting scheduler for any other questions. Happy to talk to you.
Bye.
Take care. Thanks.
See you, Taz.